Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real World English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. We're so excited to have you join us for today's episode. New Year, New Year.
That's right. It's that time of year when people all around the world start thinking about their goals and plans for the coming year.
Exactly, Emma. New Year's resolutions are a big tradition in many English-speaking countries. And today, we're going to help our listeners learn all the important vocabulary and phrases they need to talk about their own resolutions in English.
We'll follow the story of two characters, Sarah and Michael, as they set their New Year's resolutions, talk about their progress, and face some challenges along the way.
And the best part? You'll learn lots of practical phrases that you can use in real-life conversations about goals and plans. Are you ready to get started?
Let's jump in. So, Jake, what exactly are New Year's resolutions?
Great question, Emma. New Year's resolutions are promises that people make to themselves about changes they want to make in the new year. These are usually things they want to improve about themselves or their lives.
Right. So people might resolve to exercise more, eat healthier food, save money, or learn new skills. Now let's meet our characters. Sarah and Michael are friends who are discussing their plans for the new year.
Sarah is 28 years old and works in marketing. She's very busy with her job, but wants to improve her work-life balance.
And Michael is 32 and works as a teacher. He loves his job, but feels like he's been in a bit of a routine lately and wants to try new things.
Let's listen to their conversation as they set their New Year's resolutions. I'll play Michael and Emma will be Sarah.
Happy New Year, Michael. Have you thought about any resolutions for this year?
Happy New Year, Sarah. Yes, I've been thinking about it a lot. This year, I'm determined to learn a new language. I've always wanted to speak Spanish.
Let's pause here and look at some phrases for setting goals and resolutions. Notice how Michael said, I'm determined to learn a new language. This is a great way to express a strong decision.
That's right. Let me share more phrases you can use when talking about your resolutions.
I've decided to, for example, I've decided to start going to the gym.
I'm planning to, like, I'm planning to read more books this year.
My goal is to, for instance, my goal is to save enough money for a vacation.
I'm going to try to, as in, I'm going to try to eat less sugar.
I want to focus on, example, I want to focus on improving my English.
I'm aiming to, like, I'm aiming to run a half marathon by June.
I've set myself the challenge of, for example, I've set myself the challenge of learning to cook 10 new dishes.
I'm committed to, as in, I'm committed to spending more time with my family.
This year I intend to, this year I intend to waste less time on social media.
One thing I really want to change is, example, one thing I really want to change is my sleeping habits.
Now, let's continue with our conversation between Sarah and Michael. That's a great resolution. I've decided to focus on my health this year. My goal is to exercise 3 times a week and cook more meals at home.
That sounds really practical. How are you planning to fit exercise into your busy schedule?
I'm thinking of joining a morning yoga class before work. I'm also going to try to walk more instead of taking the bus. What about your Spanish learning? Do you have a specific plan?
Yes, I do. I've signed up for an online course and I'm planning to practice for at least 20 minutes every day. I've also downloaded an app that helps with vocabulary.
Great job, listeners. Did you notice all the useful phrases we just used to talk about specific plans? Let's highlight some of them.
Sarah said, I'm thinking of joining a morning yoga class. This is a great way to talk about something you're considering.
And Michael said, I've signed up for an online course. This shows an action he's already taken toward his goal.
Here are more phrases you can use when explaining your specific plans.
I've joined. For example, I've joined a running club.
I've enrolled in, like, I've enrolled in a cooking class.
I'm going to start by cutting out sugary drinks.
My first step is to, example, my first step is to create a budget.
I've downloaded an app that, as Sarah said, I've downloaded an app that tracks my water intake.
I've bought, like, I've bought a new planner to organize my time better.
I'm going to set aside time for, example, I'm going to set aside time for reading every evening.
I found a website or book about, as in, I found a website about healthy meal planning.
I plan to do this by, for instance, I plan to save money by bringing lunch from home.
My strategy is to practice vocabulary for 15 minutes every morning.
Now, let's fast forward a few weeks. Sarah and Michael are meeting for coffee to catch up on their progress.
Hey, Michael, it's been 3 weeks since New Year's. How's your Spanish learning going?
Well, I've been making some progress, but it's harder than I expected. I've been doing my daily practice, but I'm struggling with pronunciation. How about your health goals?
I've been doing pretty well with cooking at home more often. I've made dinner at home 5 nights a week, which I'm proud of. But I have to admit, I've only been to yoga class once a week instead of 3 times. Work has been so busy.
Now, listeners, let's look at how Sarah and Michael talked about their progress. They used phrases that show both achievements and challenges.
That's right. Michael said, I've been making some progress, which is a positive way to talk about moving towards your goal, even if it's not perfect.
And Sarah said, I've been doing pretty well with, to talk about an area where she's succeeding, but then added, I have to admit, when talking about where she's falling short.
Here are more phrases for discussing your progress.
I'm happy with my progress on, example, I'm happy with my progress on learning new vocabulary.
I've managed to save $100 already.
I've been consistent with, for instance, I've been consistent with my daily meditation.
I'm proud that I've stuck to my reading goal.
I've succeeded in, example, I've succeeded in cutting down on social media.
Now for phrases about challenges. I'm finding it difficult to wake up early for exercise.
I'm struggling with, as Michael said, I'm struggling with pronunciation.
I haven't been able to completely give up junk food.
I keep forgetting to, for instance, I keep forgetting to practice in the evenings.
The hardest part has been finding the time.
I started strong, but, example, I started strong, but then I got sick for a week.
I'm behind on my savings target for the month.
Let's continue with our conversation between Sarah and Michael as they discuss solutions to their challenges.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sarah. Going once a week is still better than not going at all. Maybe you could try doing some quick exercises at home on the days you can't make it to class.
That's a good idea. I could follow some short workout videos online. What about you? Have you thought about finding a language exchange partner to practice your Spanish pronunciation?
I hadn't thought of that. That's brilliant. I'll look for Spanish speakers who want to practice English. We could help each other.
Exactly. Sometimes we need to adjust our plans when we face obstacles.
That's a great point. Now, listeners, let's look at some phrases for talking about adjusting goals or overcoming challenges.
I might need to, for example, I might need to set a more realistic target.
I'm thinking about changing my approach by studying in smaller, more frequent sessions.
Instead of, I could try, example, instead of going to the gym, I could try working out at home.
A better strategy might be to break this down into smaller steps.
I'm not giving up, but for instance, I'm not giving up, but I'm scaling back my goal to make it more achievable.
What works better for me is practicing in the morning rather than evening.
I've discovered that, example, I've discovered that I need accountability to stay on track.
One thing that's helping me is keeping a progress journal.
Now let's talk about how New Year's resolutions are viewed in English-speaking cultures. It's quite interesting.
Yes. In countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia, making New Year's resolutions is a very common tradition. People often discuss their resolutions with friends and family.
That's true, and there's often a lot of media coverage about popular resolutions and tips for keeping them. Gyms and health clubs typically see a big increase in memberships in January.
Absolutely. There's also a common joke about how many people abandon their resolutions by February. Studies show that while about 40 to 50% of Americans make New Year's resolutions, only about 10% feel they successfully keep them.
Despite that, people continue the tradition year after year. It represents hope and a fresh start. Many people view the new year as a clean slate and a chance to improve themselves.
Now, let's check in with Sarah and Michael one last time. It's now March, about 3 months after they set their resolutions. Sarah, I can't believe it's been 3 months since we set our resolutions. I wanted to tell you that finding a language exchange partner has made a huge difference. My pronunciation has improved a lot, and I can now have basic conversations in Spanish.
That's fantastic, Michael. I'm so glad that worked out for you. As for me, I've had to be flexible with my exercise routine. I still only make it to yoga once a week, but I've been doing those home workouts 3 times a week, and I actually prefer it.
So you've adopted your goal rather than giving it up. That's really smart.
Yes, I think that's the key to sticking with resolutions, being willing to adjust, but not abandon them completely. And you know what? I've been cooking at home consistently, and I've noticed I have more energy, and I'm saving money too.
Great observations. Listeners, did you notice how Sarah and Michael reflected on their journey? Let's look at some phrases they used and add more that you can use when reflecting on your progress.
I've noticed that, as Sarah said, I've noticed I have more energy.
The biggest change has been in my confidence levels.
Looking back, I realize I set too many goals at once.
I've learned that I work better with a routine.
What's worked best for me is having a workout buddy.
I'm proud that I didn't give up I'm proud that I didn't give up when I got sick and had to pause my training.
The most rewarding part has been seeing my progress week by week.
I never expected that reading before bed would improve my sleep so much.
I'm going to continue with my daily Spanish practice, even after I reach my initial goal.
Now, let's wrap up everything we've learned today about talking about New Year's resolutions in English.
We've covered phrases for setting resolutions, making specific plans, discussing progress, facing challenges, and reflecting on your journey.
Remember, whether you're talking about your own resolutions or asking others about theirs, these phrases will help you have natural conversations in English.
And even if you're not listening to this at New Year's, these phrases are useful anytime you want to talk about personal goals, plans, and progress.
That's right. Goal setting happens year-round.
Before we go, let's do a quick recap of some key phrases from each section.
For setting goals, I've decided to, my goal is to, and I'm planning to.
For explaining plans, I'm going to start by, my first step is to, and my strategy is to.
For discussing progress, I've been making some progress. I'm proud that I'm finding it difficult to.
For adjusting goals, instead of, I could try, a better strategy might be to, and what works better for me is.
For reflecting, I've noticed that. Looking back, I realize, and the most rewarding part has been.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you found these phrases useful and that you feel more confident talking about goals and resolutions in English.
Don't forget to practice these phrases in your own conversations. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel.
That's it for today's episode of Real World English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye for now.
Bye for now.